Welcome to How to Cook That. I'm Reardon, and today we're making this black forest cake with really rich chocolate cake, heaps of cherries between the layers, cover the whole thing in cream, and then add our chocolate Christmas trees around the outside. Now if you're making this and it's not for Christmas, you can either leave them there because it's like a black forest for a black forest cake, or you could add some chocolate curls and little swirls of cream on top with a cherry like you'd see on a more traditional black forest cake decoration. The first thing you'll need to make this cake is you will need to make the chocolate cake, of course. And for that you will need flour, sugar, cocoa powder, eggs, and yes, there really are a dozen eggs in this recipe, butter, baking powder, and chocolate. I'll put the recipe quantities on the howtocookthat.net website in grams and ounces and cups for you, and I'll link to that below. Add the chocolate to the butter and melt it over some boiling water. Now the bottom of the bowl should not touch the water. There should be a gap between the two. Then just stir that until the chocolate and the butter are melted and remove it from the heat. Then add in the sugar and stir that through really well. Now once that's cooled down, add the eggs and whisk them through. Now add the flour, cocoa powder, and the baking powder, and keep mixing it through until you have a nice glossy cake batter. Grease and line 3 round cake tins with some non-stick baking paper, and then split the cake batter evenly between those 3 tins, and then place those into the oven to cook. For the syrup you need sugar, brandy. Now traditionally a black forest cake uses kirsch, which is a clear cherry brandy. I'm just using normal brandy here, and water. Add the water to the sugar, and if you want to evaporate off the actual alcohol content and just have the flavour, then add the brandy now too. Stir it up and heat it in the microwave until the sugar is completely dissolved and it's totally clear. Once your cakes are ready, take them out of the oven and let them cool. For the filling we need corn flour and 2 tins of cherries. Drain the cherries and add 2 cups of the juice into a saucepan and mix a small amount of the juice into the corn flour. Now I want you to keep mixing that to get rid of any lumps at all, and then once it's all smooth, add it into the pan and mix it in. Heat that over high heat and stir it continuously, and you'll see what will start to look like little thicker lumps, and then eventually the whole thing becomes thick and it starts to get clearer as well. Once it's boiling, you want to continue to let that bubble away for about another minute. This is how my mum taught me to get cakes out of the tin. Run a knife around the outside edge and then hold each side and gently shake it up and down. Then turn the tin and shake it up and down. And once you know it's loose on each side, just flip it upside down, take the tin off and peel off the baking paper. Level off each of your cakes. Now they are super crumbly because we've only just baked them. Fresh cakes are always crumbly. Whip your cream and add in some vanilla and icing sugar to taste, and whisk that through until you've got soft peaks. Place some of that into a piping bag and then put your first layer of cake onto a plate and pipe cream around the outside edge. Add as much or as little of the syrup as you like, depending on how strong you want that brandy flavour to be. Spread a generous layer of the thickened cherry juice and then add lots of cherries. These are my favourite part of the cake, so I like to use heaps. Next, add another layer of cake, more syrup, lots of cherry juice, and of course more cherries. Then add the final layer of cake on top and press it down slightly so that it's all firmly into place. Now we want to cover the whole cake in cream. Start by covering the top and then smooth that off using a palette knife. And then cover the sides and smooth those out too. To make the chocolate decorations, melt the chocolate in a bowl just like we did when we were making the cake, and stir it until it's all melted. Now you can also do this in the microwave if you have one, and I'm using compound chocolate today so that it doesn't need tempering. If you want to use real chocolate you can do that too, but you'll need to temper it. Put the chocolate into a piping bag and pipe up and down a few times to make the trunk of the tree. Then scribble the chocolate in and out along each side to make the branches of the tree. You can make some baby trees and some big tall trees. They can be all different sizes, and that will give a nice variety as you go around the cake. Once they're set, just peel them off the paper and add them into place. Time to slice it. Yum, look at that. Can you see all of those cherries in there? Yum, how good is that? Subscribe to How to Cook That for more cakes, chocolates and desserts. Click here for the recipe, here for the How to Cook That channel, and here for last week's video. Make it a great week, and I'll see you on Friday.